First of all, I want to say a word of thanks to all of you for wearing masks here at Mass. The reason why we are doing this is because if Father Hedman or myself, if either of us comes down with the COVID virus, the other one has to quarantine for 10 days. And that would mean that there would be no masses here at St. Peter's. And so in order to try and protect us, and in order to give you that opportunity to come to the holy sacrifice of the Mass, we continue to ask you to wear masks as you come to church, and I thank you for that. It really shows that here at St. Peter's, we truly are a family, and we do look out for one another. It kind of strikes me, too, that this Feast of the Holy Family comes at this particular time of year. After all of our celebrations, spending time with our families, the kids home from school, you're probably to the point where you say, I'm kind of sick of the family right now. Parents are probably saying, when is this Christmas break going to be over with? When are the kids going back to school? But this all happens at this particular time of the year, and the church asks us to focus today on the family. Because sometimes I think we take and we look at those images of Mary, Jesus, and Joseph in our creches, and we kind of idealize them. We see those plaster figures, those plastic figures, those paper figures, and we think, oh, how beautiful they look, how perfect their life was. Well, stop and think about it. A teenage mother, 13 years old, an anxious father, confronted with a scandal, his wife being found with a child before they were married. There were many other things that they had to confront in their lives. The family was forced to become refugees. They had to go live in a country in which their ancestors were persecuted and put to death. They lost their child when he was 12 years old. You see, it's not just idealizing this family. Yes, they were holy, but they were real flesh and blood, too, like you and I. The relatives of Jesus, too, were alarmed by his actions. They were concerned about his preaching, what he was doing, and they themselves wanted to take and snatch him away. And then Mary, she had to witness her own son's violent death. Scourged, crowned with thorns, carrying a heavy cross to Calvary, and being nailed to that cross and dying. She had to witness it all. She had to witness it all. That birth of Jesus, which was of great glory, which we celebrated just yesterday, is tempered by tragic reminders of what this family too had to go through in their lives. The Mother Mary, she looked down as life began. And she had to turn and she had to look up as life ended for her son. Joys and sorrows, things that you and I, we face every day, they had to face too. But there's one thing unique about this family. There's one thing important about this family. They had hope. They had hope. They trusted completely in God. When faced with all those temptations, when those virtues probably seemed hard to live, when hope almost seemed lost, they had faith and they trusted. But one other thing that this family did, and I want to challenge all of our families this year, is that they prayed together. That family prayed together. And I want to challenge all of us this year, as we look forward to 2021, to take that opportunity to pray as a family. And I'm not just talking about saying our prayer before we eat our meals. Before you go to bed at night, consider taking a little bit of time, 5-10 minutes, to pray as a family. I don't know if you know this, but every single night in the rectory, whoever is there, mostly it's Father Hedman and myself, but sometimes we have our teaching parish seminarians staying overnight. Every single evening at 9:30, we gather in our little chapel at the rectory to do evening prayer together. We're not blood relatives. We're brothers in Christ. We're a family. And we need to pray together. There's the old saying, the family that prays together stays together. And Mary, Jesus, and Joseph lived it. They lived their lives that way, and they stayed together. My brothers and sisters, I'm going to challenge you this year, but I'm going to give you hope, because that family that prays together stays together. Let's take a little bit of time this year as a family to pray. And let's look at what Mary, Jesus, and Joseph can do for us. They certainly had hope. Maybe too, they'll bring a little bit of hope and joy to our families as we begin a new year.